You see all these taxi hailing apps. The client is the deer or the gazelle. Yeah, we have a lion, we have a hyena, we have a cheetah, we have a leopard. They all have different ways of hunting. At the end of the day, they all get to eat the same gazelle.
Yeah.
Even the vultures.
Yes.
So based on how you're placed in the economy, you'll either come in and run because there'll be the big guy who will come in and bulldoze into the industry, and there'll be the one who will use tactics to ensure that he gets a clout. At the end of the day, the market is there for everyone to share.
Yeah.
Now for MaraMoja, as you're getting into the market, question is, what is the strategy that you're having here?
Yeah.
The one reason that makes me tomorrow morning to download the app.
Yes.
And say, I would rather use this and not this. Because most of us, I wouldn't mention which app, there's an app we did away with.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, security among them. So what is the one reason that will make me download it tomorrow and actually use? Because downloading is one aspect, using is another.
A different one.
Yes.
So that's very interesting, actually. So I think it's not necessarily about the strategy, but around the positioning, how we've decided to position ourselves in the market. We've decided to position ourselves in the market in a way that you as a user will get full value the more you actually use it. And I know users care about a lot of things, and we have a healthy respect of our competitors because they've gotten a lot of things right, including for the users, there is increase in access, there is reduction of costs, which are really good things that have been brought into the market. But I think what is going to create value going forward and in the future, and one thing that we actually need to demonstrate as an organization, is the value of relationships. Because if you look at, even if you look at internet, the evolution of internet, before it used to be, everything used to be standalone. But right now, if you look at how things are evolving, it's like a social network sort of thing. Any platform that is able to explode, it explodes because it has a social component. Because relationships in a human context, in a real context, are really important. So if you look at all the applications within our ecosystem, none of them focuses on relationship. And in the long run, what you find is the competition, how it's going, everyone competes on one dimension, which is price, because everything else held constant. And if you remove the brands, they all look the same.
Yes.
And they all do the same thing. So as a consumer, it only makes sense for you to go for the cheapest. Yeah? And the thing that happens on the fight for price, there are winners and losers. And if you win, you lose, because it means that you have actually eroded all the reasons why people actually use you. Like if it's, you compete all your profits or your suppliers' profits, like what the apps are doing right now, they've competed all the drivers' profits. So it's like drivers are living on a very thin
percentage.
Yeah. So, but if you look at, people care about more than just the cost of things. They care about the value they get. And for us, we're saying, yes, our cost is not so different, but it's a bit different.
What do you mean not so different?
So, for instance, I'd say, like we are here at Parklands, and you want to go to the airport.
Yes.
Use our competitors. For instance, you pay 800 shillings.
Yes,
For us,
20 kilometers times 40. Yeah.
example, for us, probably you'll pay 850 or 860. That difference is not huge for you, but I can tell you for that driver, it's huge. You understand? Because if he does 20 rides in a day, that's like 1,000 or 1,500 shillings, which is a huge difference in their lives. But now for you as a user, what these other apps are doing is they're taking that extra 50 shillings that makes a difference. And instead of even passing it on to the driver or taking it as a cost of business, they actually give it back to you, but take it from the driver. So for us, what you're saying is, we don't think users are really that. Users look for value, and value has two aspects. And it has the cost aspect, and it has what you get from it aspect. So we are saying, by developing our app in this way, you as a user, we'll actually get the value that you're actually looking for. and the whole ecosystem will be happy.
May I ask, just out of concern, between male and female, who are more
Yes.
concerned about? Then I'll give you an answer from
Yes.
my
Yes.
perspective. Who are more concerned about who is the driver?
Who are more concerned about who is the driver?
Yes.
I find parents of female of girls they are more concerned, if I may say in general. Yes. So you find, like, especially in our school program, it's even like becoming very difficult to manage because of that, because every other parent wants a female driver. We're actually even calling out to all female drivers that are looking for work. Please come and sign up with us, because there's a lot of demand for this gender, and there's a lot of opportunities out here for them. So mostly we find it's parents.
Should it be empowering the men to be more responsible instead of calling out them? Because the more we get the women, does it mean we'll do it with a lot of men to create space for them?
No, you see, it's like, which is the easier challenge?
I think also look at demand and supply.
Yes, yeah.
Now, I'm looking at it
Exactly.
from a boy child perspective.
Yeah, but then, which is the bigger challenge? To call out on ladies to sign up or to do behavior change.
And plus, imagine trying to change a
Yes.
fully grown up
Yeah,
adult.
yeah. But I think it's more about perceptions. It's not really reality, because we've never had an issue, none, even one. We've never had even one incident. But still, perception is reality. So if customers are calling for it, you have to try as much as possible to satisfy it. If you can't, we're even thinking maybe you need to charge a premium for the lady drivers to be able to attract them.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yes.
I need to ask something. I'm sorry, I'm taking us back into the security issue.
Yes.
But what are the challenges? Let's talk challenges.
Yeah.
What are the challenges you faced? Forget about operational wise for now, but around security, because as you mentioned,
Yeah.
most parents of girls are cautious and they
Yeah.
are making requests specifically for female, because that's a security issue.
Yes,
It's a security connotation. So what other challenges have you faced around security?
Yeah, so that is one of the biggest challenge, where you find parents actually very specific. So, like, I think even up to this morning, there's a parent who actually wanted to pay a premium and said, I'm willing to add 20% extra for you to just get me a female driver, which is not always possible. But you also understand where that reasoning is coming from. Know that we've never had any issue. So that's actually a challenge onto our business, but it's a good challenge. Generally on security, trying to think any case that we've had.
Theft, sexual harassment.
No, we've not had those. We've not had those.
Rude. Yeah, some drivers just want
Yes,
to be rude.
that we've had. We've had rude drivers. We've had a couple of drivers who, like, they want to go on certain routes and not on other routes.
Yes.
So they're like,
The scenic route.
yeah, exactly. I don't want to go there. I don't go there. We've had those cases. We don't encourage them. But talking about it, maybe it reminds me is also, generally, as much as you're talking about the security of riders, you also have to remember the driver also needs to be secured.
Yeah.
And at times you understand, like at night you find a driver's refused and said, I'm not going maybe to, I don't want to name neighborhoods. Otherwise, people are going to get mad at me for specific reasons. And at times you understand where they're coming from. And you feel very sorry for the people who actually are going to those directions, because they also have a right to access transport. But again, the security of our supply is also very important. So it's a huge thing to balance. So one thing that we did in response to these cases, some of them perceptual, some of them real, is on our app we have an SOS button. And the SOS button on our app is very different from any other, in the sense that it's always active. That's one thing. Which means whether you're on trip or you're not on trip, you can actually access it. any time. And then it is powered by, we've partnered with one of the biggest security response companies in East Africa. So they have the largest number, a network of fast responders. They have, I think, in Nairobi alone, they have over 26 ambulances. They've partnered with all the big security companies and the police and also fire companies, which means if you're at home, whether you're at home, whether you're at work, whether you're on trip, and you just feel insecure, you can just go to your app and click it. And the SLA that we've signed with them is 10 minutes response, which means that if you have a medical emergency, a fire emergency, or a security emergency, in 10 minutes, someone is going to be there. Someone who's qualified to handle that emergency is going to be there. And for users of our app, they actually get a service for free. All you need to do is to have the app. So that's one thing that we've actually built on it. And even further, what we've said is users need to get more. So you are here, you have an emergency at home right now, you get a call, like, oh, the neighbor's house is burning, not your house. So what do you do?
Yes.
What do you do? Do you start driving to go and rescue your things? Of course, that is going to be like your first response, like, hey, I need to rush out. I need to, first of all, you're not even at a state of mind of driving. So what you can do, you can go to the SOS button and actually change the emergency location and say, it will pick your location using your GPS, but you can also change and say that the emergency is not here. The emergency is in Lavington, for instance, or Runda, or Kayole, or wherever. And basically, the emergency providers are going to be routed because they're also using location-based services, and they'll know exactly where they're actually heading. So what we try to do is, even beyond the normal services that we are offering, we want to give more. So we say get more with MaraMoja. You always get more. You get better services. We think about, we are a bit proactive in terms of thinking about the challenges that our users might face and try to solve them proactively.
One of the things I would be interested to learn now that we've spoken about the distress call is those cases of harassment when you're in the car. Is it the same button you use?
No. This is for emergency situation. It's like 911. Okay. You wouldn't call that someone is abusing me or someone is doing this. So we've had, I think, 2 cases that I can remember of our drivers being rude. There's one driver who actually asked one of my customers to get out of the car in town. It was because he saw there was too much traffic. We have a process of handling such cases. So in that case, we actually remove the driver from the platform because there are certain things which are unacceptable. And all these drivers have to stick to a code. To stick to a code. And that even reminds me on the school transport. We even have a document that drivers have to declare. They have to do a self declaration. So all drivers who actually serve in the school transport have to do a self declaration, have to sign, and actually say that I've never been accused of this and that and that and that. I've never been in this and that and that and that, and I'll never do X, Y, Z. So in any case, even if you find through social media or something an accusation around those areas, we actually have the right to take action. Yeah? So those are some of the extra things that we do for the school transport that are not general for the others. So like the bar for proof for the school transport is very low. That like we don't need to like go over the moon to prove that you did something wrong for us to remove you from that service. So as long as we have just reasonable doubt, we have enough grounds to remove you from that service.